Has Jack Eichel been traded yet? How about now? Doesn't look like it. Either. It's Brett Hornby here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Have you all hockey fans been on edge the last couple months? I'm wondering, has Jack Eichel been traded yet? He's almost going to get traded. He's been hearing that with Rumours the last several months, and these boys, my Calgary Flames, apparently are very, very in front of the front runners on the Jack Eichel sweepstakes. I mean, it was at the start of the offseason. I did make a video on asking, should the Calgary Flames make a play for Jack Eichel? But apparently the Calgary Flames have been making a play for Jack Eichel, and apparently have really tried, based on any reports. I know that at the start of the offseason, the Calgary Flames were saying they were going to make major changes to the roster and the core, and ultimately they didn't really. I mean, we did acquire Blake Coleman, and so far he's looked pretty good as the biggest off-season signing, and we brought in Eric Branskin and made a trade for Nikita Zadorov and brought in some pluggers like Trevor Lewis and Brad Richardson. But Calgary still has the big core with Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan, Matthew Tkachuk. But at the start of the offseason, apparently I did react to Top Shelf Hockey that there was a report in The Athletic. This was before the draft, that the Calgary Flames were looking to trade Connor Zary and Matthew Tkachuk in a first-round pick, and Calgary would have gotten Sam Reinhart and Jack Eichel, and ultimately Sam Reinhart, I believe he went to the Florida Panthers, but Jack Eichel has not been traded, and the thing that's been holding up the Jack Eichel trade is not only the price with this $10 million cap hit, but then the fact that he still needs to get the surgery to repair his neck. And I do think the Buffalo Sabres kind of dropped the ball on this one. And I know that it's kind of a catch-22 that the team, let's say Calgary, or the other reported team, that's apparently the football analogy they have, that the Calgary Flames and the Vegas Golden Knights are first and goal at the one and just need to punch it in to get the trade. Well, I think because both those teams have agreed to the surgery. Well, it's pretty much that he needs to get traded before he gets the surgery, before he can play with the team, and that's not likely going to be until January or February after the Olympic break, because we assume that Jack Eichel would be eventually playing for the Americans, and again, that's the other urgency that they want this trade to get done, and just to maximize an asset. But still think the Buffalo Sabres kind of dropped the ball on the legalities and the thing with the medical, with the surgery, that it's maximizing your asset. But the fact that if this trade would have happened in the offseason, got his surgery, he would have healed in time that he would be playing now at the start of the season. But apparently these are the couple reported trades, rumors, that the Calgary Flames have put on the table for Jack Eichel. And I gotta ask, what do you think of it after giving the backstory? Apparently there was Elliot Friedman and Jack Merrick when the Calgary Flames really tried, and actually put air quotes, really tried to get Jack Eichel. And it's definitely going to be a give to get kind of trade. But apparently there was a report that the Calgary Flames would get Jack Eichel, the Buffalo Sabres, and this would have been kind of a counteracting what the Buffalo Sabres were asking. Like, they rather wanted just a bunch of picks or prospects, or even a couple players right now. I know that this reported really trade was that Calgary would have sent Rasmus Andersson, defenseman, for Dylan Dubé. So those would be two players that Buffalo would get right now. But they also would have gotten the first-round pick in 2022. And Dustin Wolf, the goaltending prospect. I mean, that definitely seems like a steep price, but to make the cap work as well, that Buffalo does have him on long-term injury reserve right now, so they need to get up to the floor, so they have to take on some contracts right now, and obviously the team making a trade needs to have that room for Jack Eichel, and I know that that's at least $7.5 million when you look at Rasmus Anderson and Dylan Dubé's cap hits right now. But apparently right now there's a trade proposal, according to Kevin Weeks, which I'm going to say is an even steeper price that the Calgary Flames would be proposing and have to pay to get Jack Eichel, because I'm hoping that if the Flames do get Jack Eichel, and I still think it would be worth it if the price is right, without sacrificing Johnny Gaudreau, Elias Lindholm, Andrew Mangiapane, or Matthew Tkachuk. But this seems like a big package that the Calgary Flames are offering, that they would trade Matthew Tkachuk. As well, it did say a recent first-round pick. How recent is the question? Is it Matthew Granato from this past draft, Connor Zary in 2020, Jacob Pelche in 2019, and some even proposals and rumors out there had Yusuf Valimaki. Could he be that first-round pick that Calgary drafted, and a 2022 first-round pick, which you don't know where that's going to be, and right now how the Flames are moving, it could be in the lower, 10, depending on how playoffs work out. If the pace continues, but Buffalo's also doing well, and a couple prospects. I mean, it was very vague on the Kevin Weeks, so that suddenly is blowing up, as is the recording that the Calgary Flames would trade away Tkachuk, a recent first-round pick. I'm not too sure if it's on the roster or someone that's in the system. 2 prospects in the 2022 first-round pick. That might even be an even steeper price that I would probably slowly back away from the buffet table or whatever and think, is that really worth it? Especially with Calgary doing as well as they are right now. I mean, the other caveat I'd throw in is that if Matthew Tkachuk has indicated that maybe he does not want to sign long-term, because after this season he's still a restricted free agent, but his cap hit will be at least $9 million, because he got to qualify him for that much, because that's how much he's making this season in actual money. And then next season, we still got this matter with Johnny Gaudreau. And Andrew Mangiapane, the start he's definitely going to be getting some more moolah. So that might be that big cap hit that we got to take off to get Jack Eichel, and to try to have some room for those other assets if we were to do that. And I mean, Yusuf Valimaki, he's making, if I recall, he's making $1.8 million. But then the other proposals are there is that maybe Sean Monahan would be throwing in this draft, or this trade, I should say. But he has a 10-team no movement clause in his contract. What do you want to go to Buffalo? And then same with Johnny Gaudreau, things have gotten quiet on extension talks, but that's basically the few proposals that's been thrown out here. But the Kevin Weeks one is the one that's recently been dropped that I had to make a video on. That basically is Tkachuk, a recent first-round pick, which I'm going back from 2017 to this past draft. We did not have a first-round pick in 2018 because we sacrificed that in the Travis Hamonic trade. I'm just thinking it would be either Yusuf Valimaki or Matthew Granato. The fact I assume Matthew Granato is because he's born in the state of New York, and Yusuf Valimaki is a up-and-coming defenseman that is still grinding it out that Buffalo could potentially use. So that's at least one piece of right now with Matthew Tkachuk. But it's definitely a give or get. I think it would still be an upgrade if we were to get Jack Eichel over Matthew Tkachuk. But it's the fact that he's not going to, let's say if we made this trade tonight, he's not going to be ready tomorrow. That's the the catch-22. And then on the Vegas side of the puck, I know Vegas, of course if he goes to Vegas, we're all going to probably say, well, of course he's going to Vegas, just because of Vegas reasons, and the fact they've been successful. But Vegas, some pundits are saying the big weakness with Vegas is not having that strong center. And right now they're hurt with Mark Stone and Max Pacioretty, so that's be the only. But the fact that does Vegas have, they really got to move up some money because they're spending up to the cap, and they sacrifice prospects and picks to be contenders now. Well, I think the Calgary Flames, we have stockpiled some picks and prospects, but we're definitely going to be a give or get, high risk, high reward. But what do you think of the prospects of Jack Eichel coming to the Calgary Flames? I'll check my phone. Has he been traded yet? Nope. But while I have my phone out, let's bring up my smart bulb. That blue is the color right now because that's the team that Jack Eichel is still playing. But would he look better in red? Or do you think he's going to ultimately wear Golden Knights? What team do you think Jack Eichel is eventually going to go to? And do you think this proposed trade that the Calgary Flames apparently have, according to Kevin Weeks, so that Jack Eichel will be wearing red, is it worth, Matthew Tkachuk, a recent first-round pick, and another first-round pick in 2022 and 2 prospects? Don't know what those 2 prospects are. I mean, I'm not willing to sacrifice Dustin Wolf. If it comes down to that, I mean, is it Adam Ruzicka, Glenn Godwin? I'm just throwing names out there that I think would be an appetizing, appealing prospect that maybe another team would want from the Calgary Flames. But maybe the only thing, if I get assurance that if Matthew Tkachuk said he wasn't going to sign here long term, and that Johnny is going to stay here, then maybe. But it's just a give or get. I think we should still make a play, but it's depending on what the price is, and I think whenever he gets traded, I'll probably make a follow-up video if he does not get traded to the Calgary Flames. Of course, if he does, I would. I'll probably be saying a few holy shit expletives at the beginning, even more so when we brought back Daryl Sutter as head coach. But that's all I have. We've been anxiously waiting on this trade to happen with Jack Eichel. It's not been traded yet. I'll just check to make sure. No, I haven't seen any notifications blowing up on my phone that he's been traded yet, but it's been, all these rumor sites, they've been saying he's almost going to get traded. It's been like that for a couple months, but when top insiders that are fairly reliable are saying it, it is what it is. It's just a matter of, is it worth the price and working it underneath the cap to make it worth on both sides. So anyway, as I like to say, if you want to follow along this Calgary sports fan's journey, home of the Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders, I mostly do talk Calgary sports on my YouTube channel, like recapping games and stories. And this is a big percolating story and rumor that doesn't seem to want to go away, that Calgary's always been in sweepstakes, and if the insiders are saying we're first and goal at the one with the Vegas Golden Knights, and we've kept hearing the Kings, the Ducks, the Habs, the Rangers, and they have all said, nope, we're not going for it. Yet we still are, and we still have been trying really hard. Keep in mind, the Calgary Flames have always seemed to have been a bridesmaid, but not a bride, with the big names. Because before I close out the commercial of my YouTube channel, that Flames Nation said apparently we almost got Mark Stone, we almost got Antti Panarin, we almost got Matt Murray or Marc-Andre Fleury, Ben Bishop. So who knows? Could this finally be the time that Brad Shelivin gets that home run? But in addition to Calgary sports, I mostly also do non-sports content at a time, like personal vlogs, attempt comedy, and LCT Sharks, Thursday I'm on the road. We're at a sporting event, and I've had done some vlogging to go earlier this year. So if that all sounds like it'd be interesting to watch, to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, you just make sure you hit like and subscribe. I also have my other social links down in the scripts below. And I do have a second channel in Brett Hornby Shorts, where in that channel I exclusively put my YouTube shorts on that channel. Let's say, for example, recapping quickly what the Calgary Flames did in their last game, or the Calgary Stampeders. Keep in mind that with my work schedule and that, if it's a home game during the day or during the week, where the game doesn't end till like 10, 11 o'clock, that post-game short will not happen till the next game at earliest. Well, I appreciate likes and subscribe on my main channel and my second channel. So as I say, you want Jack Eichel to be a Calgary Flame? Is the price worth it? Is he going to get traded soon, just so we can all move on with our lives and find the next big name to get traded? So I just want to say, go Flames go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, and maybe Next video will be welcoming Jack Eichel to the Sea of Red and the Calgary Flames. But we won't see him wearing red until February the earliest. So thank you.